This is an observation test. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to memorize these cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you get it? All right. How many cards did I have? If you said 5, then you'd be right. Now, did you notice that there was an ace on the back? No? Oh, well, that's fine. Did you happen to notice that there was a whole royal flush in there? No? Oh, okay. Well, what about the color of the back? That was, in fact, red, right? Ah, well, that's the observation test. In much the same way that youth is wasted on the young, insane asylums are wasted on the crazy. I didn't really know what to expect. I half expected the place to be painted all white with cage grates over the windows and a giant brooding Native American man standing in the corner. It wasn't. It was more like a college dorm, a very sad, if brightly decorated college dorm. I was sitting in the common room reading a book when this guy walks up to me, apropos of nothing, and he says he's a Ghostbuster. And he starts humming the Ray Parker Jr. song. You know the one. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, Ghost. And then he just stops and says that he's also the Marshmallow Monster and then just walks away. In that moment, I wanted to stand up and say, hey, that is not called a Marshmallow Monster. That is Gozer the Gozerian in the chosen destructor form of the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. I didn't. I was just too sad to get into a nerd rage over it. I was diagnosed with a single episode major depressive disorder, and I was committed for suicidal ideation. Because at one point, I was married, and then I wasn't. And in the grossest understatement of my life, I didn't handle it well. What broke the final strings of my sanity wasn't the infidelity or even the emotional abuse. No. What finally broke my brain was the day that she packed up and left was April 1st, 2009. She left me on April Fool's Day, which I automatically assume made me the butt of some cosmic joke. And if you knew us, this actually kind of made sense. We loved making each other laugh, like all the time. She often joked that that she would change her name to Lugosi. And I often joked that between her and her twin sister, I obviously fell madly and deeply in love with the evil twin. Well, 10 months go by. 10 months of just unchecked sadness and despair. And I find myself, well, no one is more surprised than I am. I found myself standing over the kitchen sink holding a chef's knife to my throat, thinking that I should probably do this in the bathtub because it'll be easier to clean up for whoever found me. By the way, spoiler alert, I make it. Your vaguely ethnic, handsome hero makes it to the end. It's all right. But in that moment, I was just beyond sad. I didn't want to die. I just didn't have anything to live for. Well, in a moment of preservational clarity, I called a friend, and that friend got me to an emergency room, and they took all of my belongings, and they sat a security guard to sit at the foot of my bed just to watch me, which I can only imagine is the most annoying and easiest gig that guy had to do all day. Many hours later, I was checked into the Presbyterian Hospital for Psychiatry and Mental Health in White Plains, New York. And this place was pretty good. I mean, I've never been to a mental institution before or since, but I gotta tell you, this place was fucking awesome. It was 5 meals a day. There was craft time and story time and nap time. And there was 2 large screen televisions. There was a movie with popcorn every single night. I had my own room. Well, I mean, I didn't have my own room, but my roommate was a narcoleptic on heavy meds. Basically, I had my own room. And then twice a day, I got drugs. If I wasn't so fucking sad, I probably would have had a wonderful time there. But as it was, I was just so deeply, deeply depressed. Well, one day I'm heading into the cafeteria to get my midday snack. And I grabbed my carton of milk and a little plate of cookies. And these were heart-shaped cookies with some pink frosting and red sprinkles on them. And I'm looking at the cookies and I'm looking at the calendar on the wall. And then 2 things happened at the exact same time. I begin crying hysterically and laughing uncontrollably, which in a psych ward is very serious cause for concern amongst the nursing staff. I calmed them down. I merely explained that I had come to a realization due to the collapse of my marriage, which then brought on symptoms of depression, which then spiraled into suicidal fantasies. I was now sitting in a mental institution on Valentine's Day. I don't know what it is about minor national holidays, but I seem to have a lot of epiphanies on them. So I'm sitting there and I'm drinking milk and eating cookies with crumbs and tears just falling from my face. And I'm thinking about my life. I'm thinking that, you know what, maybe I'm not entirely broken. That's someone who can just laugh at the given ridiculousness of their given situation. That's not someone who's entirely broken. And I'm thinking about my ex-wife. I'm thinking about maybe she's not entirely evil. Maybe she's just trying to bust her own personal ghosts. And unfortunately for me, I happened to be the marshmallow monster in her way. Well, the next day I signed out to check myself out, and I often think about that hospital, not because I have any kind of sentimental attachment to it, but because those were the best fucking cookies I ever had.